Oh. So embarrassing. You caught me reading a book. Hey YouTube, ValidGirl5678 here, and it's time for another album review. Today we are going to be talking about this new Lizzy McAlpine album, Older. This is the third LP from Lizzy McAlpine following the 2022's 5 Seconds Flat, which was wildly successful and solidified her as someone to watch in the indie girl music scene. For me, 5 Seconds Flat was very much theater girl goes singer-songwriter, and it worked. And here on Older, those roots are still very noticeable, but she has now settled into the singer-songwriter vibe, almost to the point of finding some folky and borderline country elements and vibes in the music. This is most clear on tracks like Come Down Soon, All Falls Down, and You Forced Me To, which are some of the best and just most fleshed out songs on the album. You Forced Me To is my favorite out of this bunch. It's so eerie and witchy in all senses, and the harmonies are so softly powerful and beautiful on this track. This is the harmony track off the album. But then of course there are tracks on here that are dramatic, especially in instrumentation, in similar ways to a lot of the songs on 5 Seconds Flat, like the opening and closing tracks on the album, The Elevator and Vortex, which both do a great job at their respective roles as intro track and closing track, with The Elevator doing a great job setting up the thematic and sonic themes on the album, and Vortex finishing off the album with powerful and closure-esque lyricism and sweepingly cathartic instrumentation and production. We have I Guess, which is a stunningly vulnerable inner thoughts type of track lyrically that follows the dramatic instrumental outro theme that is very present on the album, most notably on the intro and outro tracks. We have Broken Glass, which is not just dramatic sonically, but is very dramatic thematically, with the metaphor of broken glass for the relationship as a whole, the relationship that is the main theme of the album. We have the title track, Older, which is, in my opinion, melodically and vocally, objectively the best song on the album, and I think that also just comes with it being the thesis statement of the album, being the title track. My personal favorite track on the whole album, though, that just happens to fit into this drama camp. What can I say? I love a little drama. Drunk running. The lyrics. The metaphor that is the song, which is comparing her boyfriend's attachment to alcohol to her attachment to him, through her saying that no one takes the alcohol from his hand, and then later on in the song saying no one is taking her from his hand. That obviously speaks to the development of the song, which is great. It's just so good. There are some less fleshed out songs on here, like Movie Star and Better Than This, that just feel a little unfinished, but it's not necessarily in a bad way. They're more just shorter tracks that only go so far with their themes, because the themes in question are fairly simple and one-dimensional, but they absolutely tie in and add to the narrative development of the album, so I'm not mad at them at all. Like, they're not skips, but they don't feel like full songs in their own right. And then of course you can't have a Lizzy McAlpine album without some heart-fucking-breaking tracks, like It Tends To, Staying, and March, which really showcase Lizzy's struggles as of recently past just early 20s growing pains, which I think is really important for the album, being that, like, that's kind of the whole theme of the album is early 20s growing pains. Like, I'm older now, I'm not 21 anymore. And I think without these tracks, like, okay, yeah, you're 24 now, you once were 22, same. But because these tracks kind of showcase her personal life struggles past just that, like, general phenomenon, it really helps her kind of say, I'm older now, and this is how I'm experiencing this, instead of just, this is about being older. Like It Tends To and Staying are much more contemplations on the relationship that is the main theme of the album, but March is actually about her dad passing, and it's just a very hard listen, especially if you've lost somebody, and unfortunately, you know, that's life, most people have, so it's unfortunately very relatable in that respect, and she put some feelings and phenomena of this experience into words in quite painstakingly beautiful ways, and you know, that's obviously a hard thing to do, so kudos to her for that. So overall, I really enjoyed this album. However, it doesn't really touch the iconicness of 5 Seconds Flat to me, but that's okay. Lizzy is older now. That's the whole fucking point. This is where she is in her life right now. And to be honest, the jump from 5 Seconds Flat to Older showcases very well that honestly brutal shift from 21-22 to 24-25, and how you lose some of that youthful whimsy that was a lot of what made 5 Seconds Flat so great and iconic, as you begin to deal with more adult shit. So I really appreciate her vulnerability and honesty that is this record. Like, she clearly stayed true to what she needed to and felt like she had to make, and I will always respect and enjoy that more over something that is clearly fabricated in an attempt to top whatever you did last. So I actually think she made like very good choices with this project. So I'm gonna give this album a 7. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Check out my Song of the Week series on YouTube Shorts that comes out every Friday or Saturday, depends on my laziness. Follow me on Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, all linked below, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye, sad little gay people.